So we continue on talking on the platform Sutra. Last time we talked about how the sixth patriarch was encountering with the fifth patriarch, Hongren. And the time that he stayed in the monastery, in the Mount Huangmei. And when he heard about the teaching of the fifth patriarch on the Diamond Sutra, he got a deep enlightenment. And then the transmission of the rope and the bow, so that it signifies the Dharma as passing down to the six lineage masters. And because at that time, people very much put more emphasis, you could say put more emphasis on the symbols that signified the transmission of the Dharma, which is the rope and the bow. So although the rope and the bows were given to the sixth patriarch, some people in the monastery still chase after Huineng, just wanted to get the rope and the bow back. And that is the encounter of Venerable Huiming with the sixth patriarch, Huineng. And somehow the sixth patriarch helped Huiming to come to a realization. And that's the part that we finished last time. Now we continue on. After that, Huineng going south and hide in the company of the hunters. Well, you could say that he's hiding in the forest with the hunters for 15 years. That's quite a long time. And of course, he helped with the hunters and teach them somehow with some Dharma. And then came one day, he realized, after 15 years, he realized that it's time for him to come out to teach the Dharma. And then he cannot hide there forever. So he left the mountain and went to the monastery. It's called Fa Xing Si, Monastery of the Dharma Nature, in Guangzhou, which is the Guangdong province. Now over there, it happened that there was a monk. His name is Yin Zhong. Was lecturing on the Nirvana Sutra. Now, it happens that in the front monastery, there was a pole, and the flag, well, the pole and the flag in the monastery here referring to when there is an event, Dharma gathering, an event, or event of the teachers giving lecture, then they will have the poles and then the flags there. So at that time, there were two monks who are debating over the flag and the pole. One said, the wind blows. Because the wind blows, therefore the flag moves. And then another monk arguing that it's the flag that moves, not because of the wind. So they are arguing who is right, who is wrong. So one said, the wind is moving. The other one said, the flag is moving. And they argue on it. And Mr. Huineng came out and said, it's not the wind that is moving, it's not the flag that is moving, it is your mind that is moving. Interesting enough. Now here, he did not give any lecture on the Dharma, but he just presented in a way that that's your mind that is moved, so that people realize, I'm attached to it. I'm attached to the flag, or I'm attached to the wind. And I think I'm right. Now, this is just an incident of what is happening. But in our daily life, aren't we constantly like that? We constantly referring to ourselves when something comes up that we hold on to a point of view very much. And that is the moment of right and wrong, right there. But we didn't realize that our mind is moving. Our mind is attaching. That is the problem right there. Of course, in saying that, Master Huineng saying that your mind is moving, it doesn't mean that the wind is not moving. It doesn't mean that the flag is not moving. Because even if our mind is settled, the wind is still moving and the flag is still moving, isn't it? The key thing here is that are we attached to these things? And this is a very important teaching, because we are attached. Therefore comes sufferings. So that is the thing. Now, it happens that Master Yin Zhong heard about this. And of course, the people around was amazed by what Master Huineng said. And Master Yin Zhong invited Huineng to come in and sit on the high seat, the seat of honor. And of course, he will ask questions about what Master Huineng just said. And I explained, and Huineng explained to him clearly, to the point, uncomplicated, and did not really relying on the written words. Now over here, we see the point here that explaining something in such a way, this is very, you could say that this is almost like the style, or this is the way how Master Huineng related to the teachings. So he did not go words by words from the sutras, but he got the meaning of it very clearly and present the Dharma in his way, in his own way. And Master Yin Zhong asked him, "You are such an ordinary, extraordinary person. And long ago, I heard that the robe and bow of Huang Mei," referring to the monastery where the fifth patriarch was staying. I heard that the robe and bow of Huang Mei had come south. Might you be the one who received them? And then Huineng said, "In all modesty, I am." Therefore, Master Yin Zhong bowed to Huineng and asked him to bring forth the robe and bow to show it to the assembly. And after that, he questioned. Master Yin Zhong continued on questioning. "What instruction did you receive at Huang Mei?" Well, Huineng said, "I received no instructions. We only discussed seeing the nature. Discussed seeing the nature here is the how Huineng was coming to the great enlightenment, to see his own nature thoroughly. And Huineng continued on saying that we did not discuss samadhi and emancipation, here referring to liberation. Therefore, Master Yin Zhong said, why did you not discuss samadhi and emancipation? Now, Huineng replied, because the dualistic dharmas are not Buddhism. Buddhism consists of non-dualistic dharmas. Now, this here, dualistic dharma, referring to how we function every day with the so-called like and dislike, want and discard, high and short, and all this, the so-called, we always functioning in our daily life, the so-called living in dualistic life. And what about non-dualistic dharmas? That is something going beyond the duality of the world. So Master Yin Zhong asked, how is it that Buddhism consists of non-dualistic dharma? And Huineng said, you lecture on Nirvana Sutras. It elucidation of the Buddha nature, which is non-dualistic dharma. Just as when Bodhisattva, king of lofty virtue, asked the Buddha, do those who break the four major prohibitions and commit the five perverse transgressions, as well as the Ichantikas, eradicate their good roots and Buddha nature? So this is what is said in the Nirvana Sutra. When the Bodhisattva, king of lofty virtue, asked the Buddha. So these four major prohibitions are what? Is to kill, to steal, to have sexual misconduct, and to tell lies. And then the other five is to kill your mother, your father, killed in the hearts, and make the Buddha hurt him so that he's bleeding. And then to break the harmony of the Sangha. So this is the five. And then one more thing is about Ichantikas, referring to, in Buddhism, is referring to someone that has no good karmic root at all. It is the person who's learning the teaching and break all the precepts and never, you could say that it is departed from all the good virtuous acts. And someone who don't believe in the so-called right Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, and commit all the serious crimes. Someone who did not feel regret at all, never give rise to any virtuous feeling. So this is recurring to the Ichalikas. And in the Sutra, the Buddha said, there are two types of good roots. One is permanent and the other one is impermanent. But the body nature is not permanent or impermanent. Therefore, not to eradicate. It's said to be non-dual. Now we need to understand here the so-called permanent and impermanence here, referring to what? That is to say, the one with good roots, that they are always doing something good. But in certain times, they don't do it. And that becomes, first of all, it's like always doing it, that is permanent. And then the other one is certain time they don't do it. It's impermanence. And then, but the so-called non-dualistic Dharma, referring to, it's go beyond that. It's going beyond the so-called subject, object. It's transcending already. So the teaching is the teaching of non-dual. And then also the sutra said one type of roots is said to be good, and then the other one is non-good. The Buddha nature is not good and not non-good, and is called non-dual. The skandhas, referring to the 5 skandhas, and sensory realms are seen as true by ordinary people, but the wise comprehend the nature to be non-dual. Now, the 5 skandhas, probably you know, what are the 5 skandhas? Form, sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. And this is our body and mind, the 5 skandhas. And then the sensory realms, referring to what? Referring to the 18 realms. One is the root, and then referring to roots, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, and then the mind. So they are the 6 roots. And then the eye see at the side, the ear hear the sound, and then the nose smell, the mouth taste, the body feeling, the touching feeling, and then the thinking, all the thoughts. So this is the so-called, in Buddhism, it's called the dust. And then all these, the eyes see things, these forms, colors, it will be stay in our consciousness. So 3 of them becomes the 18 realms. And this is all these things are the environment and whatever that we have. It's to rely on so that it's from this person that we're in. So because we are functioning this every day, and this is seen as ordinary people, we see that, okay, yeah, I saw something right in front of me. I recognize it, and then I identified it as something real. But this is how ordinary people perceive the world. But the wise one, or the one with wisdom, then they will perceive it right there. That itself is empty. Right there is empty. So that is why it's called the non-dual. So the non-dual nature is the Buddha nature itself. So in this way where Master Huineng explained to Master Yin-chung, and then Master Yin-chung was so happy that he said, he joined his palm in respect and said, my lecture on the Sutra was like a wordless piece of roof tile or gravel, while your explanation is like pure gold or real gold. Now, since Master Huineng was still a lay person, so after this, then Master Yin-chung saved Huineng's head, and he became a monk. And he asked to be his student, to serve. He asked to serve Master Huineng as his teacher. Now, this story here is interesting, but we have certain questions of the sutra or platform of the platform sutra. Never mentioned that Master Huineng study any Buddhism, but he would just like came to real realizations because of the explanation of Hongren, the 5th patriarch, to him. And over here, how could he, explain the principal teachings of Nirvana Sutra so well? It happens like after Master Huineng received the robe and the bowl, and he moved to the south. And then he came to this place called Shaozhou, Chaohou village. And of course, at that time, nobody knew of him. And it happens that there was a scholar by the name of Liu Zilue. he was very much respected Chu Huineng. And the scholar Liu Zhilue, he had an aunt, and his aunt is a bhikshuni, and by the name of Wu Jinzhang. She's always recited this Maha Nirvana Sutra. And when Huineng heard about this, he knew the meaning, the deep meaning of the sutra. And Huineng was explaining to the Bhikshuni Wu Jinzhang about this. And it happens that in the sutra, there are some words that Wu Jinzhang, Venerable Wu Jinzhang, did not know. And she asked him, and he replied that I did not recognize the words, the written words. But whatever meaning there inside, you may ask me. Interesting enough, Venerable Wu Jinzhang said, you can't even recognize the words. How could you understand the meaning? Right? For us, we know how. Of course, we have this question. And then Master Huineng replied, well, all the wonderful teachings of the Buddhas on the 3 times, they did not rely on words, relying on written words. And of course, Venerable Wu Jinzhang was very surprised to hear that. Therefore, he asked people to pay respect to him. He said that he is such one, that this is such a person that is already attained the way. We should highly respect and make offering to him. So it happens that at that time, there was a ruin of the ancient monastery there. So somehow they gathered some money and then they rebuilt the monastery and asked Huineng to be there to teach them. So that is not 15 years that he was hiding in the woods, in the forest with the hunters. And he stayed there for 9 months. But it happens that those people who chased after him came afterward to harm him. And he had to hide away in the mountain in front of the monastery. And then it happens that he knew what the 5th patriarch had told him, that you need to hide somewhere. You don't spread the Dharma right after this, right? So soon. And that is why he was staying with the hunters for 15 years until he came out to this Fa Xing Si and to encounter with Yin Zhong, Master Yin Zhong. And it happens that Master Yin Zhong also talked about this Nirvana Sutra. So he already understood, and he could explain to him very clearly. Now from here, we understand certain things that if someone is enlightened, then when he heard about this, the right teachings right there, then they understood right there. And they don't need to go word by words. And of course, it just related to us something about the so-called the four reliances. One is relying on Dharma, the teaching. Don't rely on the person. Two is relying on the meaning. Don't rely on the words. Three is relying on the ultimate meaning, not on the experience meanings. And the fourth is relying on wisdom, but don't rely on conscious mind. Now, the first one is someone who teaches. You don't rely on the person, but relying on his teaching. Is his teaching in accord with the teaching of the Buddha? That's important. So you don't worship the person and think that he is the most wise one, and whatever he said, then we just blindly believe in him. So that is here. But are their teachings in accordance with the teaching of the Buddha, referring to impermanence, referring to no self, referring to the emptiness, referring to causes and condition, causes and effect. So we use that as a framework or something that we could reference to. The second one is relying on the meaning. Don't rely on words. Words on the surface is the written words. But what is the meaning behind? Well, in our daily life, we encounter people talking. It doesn't have to be the Dharma, but when they talk, when they say something, at a certain time we have to catch, we have to get the meaning behind, rather than just the words. And then the third one is, of course, the teaching their experience means, but what is the ultimate meaning? Say, for example, the teaching of Buddhism is to tell us to practice so that eventually we are liberated, we are free from suffering. But sometimes, because of the experience means, then it will say something that not to the ultimate meaning. And we need to understand that this is just an experience means. And there are ultimate meaning behind that. So that we need to do. And then the fourth one is wisdom. The other one is the conscious mind. Conscious mind is just the way we think. But are we using wisdom right there? So with this as a reference, then you could see that the teaching from the sixth patriarch is right there, that the words of wisdom right there. not relying on words, but the deep meaning right there. Okay, so I'll stop here.